like inviting a murderer to explain also his point of the view or something.
Yeah.
You know, this fake, false objectivity seems even more harmful, excuse me, than, I don't know, Tucker Carlson,
Yeah.
because you would expect it from Tucker Carlson.
Well, I mean, what you just said there, fake objectivity, and it's really this notion of two sides. Every story has two sides. That's not true. Some stories have 50 sides. Some only have one.
Right.
And I think we have to grow up and recognize that. And I think the United States is doing harm to the planet here with this notion of individualism and everyone's opinion is equally the same because we're all individuals and we can own our guns and do whatever we want. And I think Joe Rogan is a perfect example of that, right? He says, well, I'm just giving voice. I'm just listening to what will make, sell and people. But he doesn't. He favors right wing. He favors racists and sexists and climate science deniers and anti-vaxxers. I mean, it's a little terrifying because of the power that he has. I remember watching him on a TV show years and years ago, and it took me years to realize that the Joe Rogan of the podcast was the same actor on this TV show where he played a handyman on a radio news channel. So, but whatever. I don't know him. I don't know who he is as an individual human being, but I do know that many of the guests on his podcast and what he promulgates there is horrifically dangerous and is harming people. The same with someone who I had respect for before. I'm just blanking on his name. Was a comedian. He made the movie Idiocracy. What is this?
Ricky Gervais.
No, Ricky Gervais made Idiocracy. Right. No. Ricky Gervais, I still like. No, it's Bill Maher. Bill Maher. In the US.
Right. He's also a talk show host, isn't he?
Yeah, talk show host. Yeah. And he's doing the same thing. He just had Elon Musk on the other day, and they were just bemoaning about the major challenge or crisis to humanity is wokeness, right? That woke people are destroying everything. And this is when right-wing governors and legislatures are canceling tenure, burning books, and firing professors and scientists. They're like, oh, these academics like me who are lefty and woke, that's the real challenge, not people who are actually doing direct demonstrable harm to the entire system. And so I have to ask, why? Why are you so upset because some, left-leaning scholar is arguing from a database perspective about some things, whereas you're not losing your mind because the governor of Florida is rejecting tenure and falsifying data? Anyways, that was a little rant. I'm sorry, I went off there, but it's very annoying because these people know they're smart people, right? Joe Rogan is not an idiot. I'm sure he's quite intelligent, as so is Bill Maher and these others. But they're intentionally fostering one specific way to think, which is facilitating belief in a lot of people who vest a lot of trust in them, and they're doing harm.
But how do we go forward then? They believe this, we believe this. I mean,
arm people with the capacities, right? Education systems, right? So the education system in the United States 50 years ago was one of the best in the world. Today, it's one of the worst. I visited schools in Berlin, sort of the grade schools and whatever, and they're very good. A lot of the ones I saw, even though you might have a wide range of problems in Berlin, across Germany for sure, but you also have basic reading skills and basic capacity to sort of move between different kinds of information. And so, and you see this in different parts of the world, huge inequities in the basic training of humans, right? We need to be trained. You can't just walk into this world. You have to learn how to read. You have to learn how to critically read. You have to learn about history. You have to sort of learn about health and society. Those things are important. So I would argue, and the United Nations and many, many, many incredible scholars, Nelson Mandela, one of my heroes, argued that, look, you're not born hating. You have to learn to hate, right? But you also learn to love and you learn to understand. And it's through education, it's through your community and your schools and your family that you learn things. And that's where we need to focus. I have very little faith in politicians at the moment. I have much more faith in people.
All right. Thank you to my lovely patrons, Taichi, Carmen, and Veronica. Thank you for your support. You're amazing. If you want to support Eurotrash too, you can do that. Just go to Patreon and find me there. All right. Thanks again.